Okay, we have the Hollow Knight bug as our stamp too, so that's extremely lucky. We'll just get this. It's easy. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So same deal. We're gonna skip a cutscene here, and then as soon as we are able, we're gonna switch to Kiri. Which does mean we have to use the grand old dev menu. And thankfully we're on that option, so we don't have to change it all around a bunch. Okay, and now we're doing the run for real. First run of the night. Everybody's favorite. So there's not a whole lot going on in 1-1. Our game plan here is basically just going to be to get through it as quickly as we can. And that was a little slower than we would otherwise have wanted because we had to stop the slide for safety. But we didn't die, so we'll take it. Now we're going to go into the tutorial stage here, where Kiri teaches us about all of her various abilities. She can wall jump, she has a Mega Man slide, and she has a stomp, and the stomp can break blocks below her. So we're going to be using the slide and the wall jumps a lot. The stomp we use a little bit, but we don't generally need to do it too much. Oh, I got a little too far into the hitbox there, so that's a little bit of a time loss. This is a mushroom, not an ogre or an oni. But we beat the mushroom, so we're good to go for now. Okay, now we're gonna go to 1-2, and 1-2 is a platform that has multiple paths. There's an upper path and a lower path, and we are gonna stick to the upper path because they both have to be higher up when you reach the end of the stage anyway. So it just makes more sense for us to go the direction that we want to be at the end to start out with. It also helps that we have this these nice platforms up here that kind of let us skip a little gauntlet of enemies with some minor platforming below us, which is very, very nice. And then we can take a big slope jump all the way to the end here. Slope jumping is the thing that we're adding to today's run, or the major thing, I should say. And basically what it lets us do is when we slide down a slope like this, it lets us maintain our momentum. That's a little unfortunate, but we're just gonna take it right now. It lets us maintain our momentum, that huge burst of speed we get from sliding down a hill, and it carries that with us into jumps and stuff. So it kind of lets us really go extremely fast in an extremely short amount of time through a lot of the levels in the game. Okay, 1-3 is our first ghost house. So everything that we end up doing in here is going to just be some pretty sick movement, except for bonking on the wall there, but we just don't have to think about that because what's going to happen next is significantly better. This next room is where we're going to see a lot of uses of the wall jump tech that we've seen before. Oh. Okay. Oh no. We might end up yeah, we're gonna just restart the room. So this is really tight platforming, but as long as you have a bit of a rhythm, you can get through it more or less pretty okay. So we took a little bit of extra time there to show off the strats, but that is eventually going to be something that we really nail down and just have going for us. That room you just don't have to do because why would you? Because wall jumps exist. And then we've got a little bit of sweet jump here, so we don't have to do the rest of that. In this room, there's a hidden door, and as we've been learning in this first ghost house, the lanterns illuminate stuff that you can't otherwise see. So it's nice to have that. If you were to go through the normal door in that room, you would get looped, which is probably very familiar for folks who have played other Mario games before. But we, of course, knew it was there already, and so we were able to just go through it. So this is 1-4. 1-4 is pretty straightforward. Again, there's not a whole lot going on here. We're going to just be maintaining speed as long as we can, and if at all possible, we're going to be adding some of these slope jumps in I don't believe there's an official name for them yet, so we're currently just kind of calling it whatever we want to call it, which has been slope jumps or slope tech or I can't see it anymore on my chat, but there was I think it was called somebody mentioned scoot and shoot, which I really liked. So that might be oh, Kiri, no. That was really unfortunate. It's going to be a little bit of a time loss there. Basically what's happening here, aside from me choking an easy level, is that we are playing on the lowest difficulty, and what that lets us do is anytime you would die, you are instead brought back to about where you were, and it gives you a cloud power-up. And that cloud power-up, of course, just lets you fly vertically like what we just did. And this stage is where you can kind of see how ridiculous the slope jump was. That wasn't as efficient as I would want it to be, but we ended up getting there. It worked out. So we have a little bit of cool tech here, and that's not just because it's an ice stage. And we're eventually going to find out if it is possible to route slope jumping into this section. However, for now, we're just going to take a nice clean... Oh, unfortunate. I'm making good friends with the Pengos today. We're just going to take a nice clean level here. We're going to touch these spikes because it'll let us fly. And then we take this all the way up as far as we can. And yeah, if you're sliding, you're invincible a little bit, so you can bonk them. So that's 1-4. Pretty solid so far. 1-5 is next, and this is where we're going to see the first use of our underwater sliding tech, because you can slide on the bottom of the water, which I suppose would be, I'm not sure, the ocean floor sometimes, but sometimes it's just a lake or whatever. So, you know, you can slide on the floor, and it lets you go really, really quick. Eventually later, we're also going to be acquiring another power, which is like akin to a dive kick type move in a fighting game. And we can use that underwater as well for rapid descent. It does take us at an angle, so we have to be kind of careful where we're using it. But as you can see, like we don't have to swim. We just don't have to do that. So this is a pretty straightforward level. As you probably have guessed, there's not a whole lot that we need to do to get through here. Nice and easy. And then the next thing we're gonna do is that's this world done, which is great. We have a couple cutscenes to skip, and we have to go touch the portal, but then we can go to the next world. Great. So now we're in World 2. We saved a really, really solid chunk of time there. Holy cow. Okay, so we have to talk to this cat. Playing casually, this cat will give you many, many things that are important. He's a salesperson. So you will be able to, you can head back to the main town to find him there. And he'll sell you powers and stuff, which is a lot more important for Yuzu than it is for us on Kiri right now. This is probably okay. Normally we would want to land slightly behind them, but for the sake of this level going a little quickly, we still were able to take a pretty substantial chunk of time off of it. And yeah, that's 2-1. So in World 2, this is where you would normally be introduced to the Apple power-up for Yuzu, which is a spin dash, or a spin jump. Breaks stuff beneath you, and you use that to kind of get into areas below you. But Kiri has that out of the box with this stomp. So we don't really have to worry about that too much. 2-2 is a stage that you kind of want... There's probably ways to go through this faster. But as you can see, all of the hallways are extremely tight, and there's a lot of places you can just die. Oh, I was really slow there. There's a lot of places you can just die. So ideally, you grab that power up, It doesn't take a ton of time to get it, and it does make that entire route a little bit safer for you. Here, we're going to not wait for the platform because that's slow. So we're going to use the little snack that our cat friend gave us at the beginning to skip the rest of it. We're now going to world 2-3. And this is, we're going to start that over. This is another level where our new slope jump tech is going to come in handy. We just skipped a ton of slow swimming sections. And we're going to hug that fish because he lets us go up top here, which kind of lets us position ourselves really well for a little bit of a descent into the water, so that we can bypass all of the sharp objects that we otherwise would not want to be touching. And then we can just acquire fast run speed and clear. Oh, I got grabbed. We can just clear the rest of the stage through normal running. So this is a pretty solid 2-3. No real complaints there. 2-4 is the ghost house in this stage, and the very first thing we're going to do is slide twice so we don't die under this, like I'm sure no one in chat has ever done before. I'm definitely not looking at anybody in particular, but it lets us skip that first cycle, which is fast, as you might imagine. We're gonna grab this onigiri for safety here. This little auto scroller section features this ghost. This ghost can be really rude, but is sometimes nice. If the ghost is nice, we are going to be taking a hit on the other side of this, because we don't actually want this onigiri. It's just there so that we don't die during the auto scroller and cause ourselves problems. But we need to be able to death boost in this room. So this room functions on cycles, and what we want to do is try to give ourselves the straightest shot to all of the relevant platforms and things that we can get. Oh, that was really close, but we survived. So we're going to be abusing the death cloud pretty frequently in this run, because there's a lot of times, especially for cycle-based rooms like this, where you would be, we would be stuck there waiting for, oh, that's unfortunate. We would be stuck there waiting for the platforms to come back over, but because we're playing on this difficulty specifically, it lets us kind of ignore that. And now we're going to get our first mini-boss. These are pretty straightforward. They're really similar to how mini-bosses are in the original, the OG Marios. They do an attack, you hit them 3 times. I do love the foxlings. Yeah, they're pretty wonderful. If only they always worked with us instead of working with our weird evil uncle, ? The Bishi man with the hair flip. The definitely very evil guy. So yeah, that's 2-4. And now we have our first Erin fight. Erin is our teacher. And this is her way. She is under the employ of the main villain of the game, and so therefore can't directly help us. So instead of directly helping us, she challenges us to duels periodically, and as we fight her, she introduces new attacks that we need to be able to learn. So her AI is relatively straightforward as far as manipulating it goes, and this is one of the 2 big techniques that we're going to be using throughout the run. Blade Dash really lets you kind of cheat. So this is 2-5, and we're actually going to restart the room on this one. This stage lets us... there is a big... yes. There's another big slide skip here. We got most of it, so we'll take that. But the general idea there is there's a lot of left-right movement, and we really don't want to put up with that if we can avoid it. So any way to let ourselves go vertically is better. So now we have gone into a tree, and we're going to be ascending it. So of course, when you're going up a tree, when you're going up at all, what better way to ascend than with a cloud, right? And so one of the powers that we received very early on is one of those little taiyaki pastries, and when you get hit, it gives you a cloud. So we can use that to our advantage to just kind of ignore a whole lot of that climbing And then now we're going down the tree. So you may notice that we are now going a different direction. And we're just basically going to be blade dashing to skip things and blade dashing through the end. So that's 2-5. Pretty sweet. We can work on our slope jumps there for the future, but I mean, probably pretty solid time save anyway. This stage 2-6 is we're having trouble here. This is a stage that we basically want to be able to goodness gracious. We want to kind of try to set up our own cycles on this. There is a very specific blade dash setup that we can get, and it requires us to land on this pipe so that we can just keep hitting stuff in that direction. So we did end up getting it, even though the getting there was a little rough around the edges. But this is another pretty straightforward one. In stage 2, we're going to be climbing a hill. And so the idea here is we're basically trying to go up as quickly as possible. And so as mentioned previously, if you're going to be going upwards, what better way to do it than with a cloud? So we're basically just going to be abusing deaths in here. Abusing the death basically just costs you time. And it almost always puts you more or less where you would otherwise want to be. So in order to, we take a couple of seconds for the cloud to load in and that little animation to play, but ultimately it's going to be faster than trying to jump on the very slow mushrooms and avoid the yokai and the raccoons and all that stuff. So, and then we are going to go to 2-7. So this is a stage that has a really cool intro that is completely scripted. You can always get these cycles on things. We messed it up a little bit at the end there. But you can always get these cycles, which means that you can more or less just totally autopilot this level, which is great. Once we get to the second part here, it kind of depends on what you are, where you are or how comfortable you are with the resets and stuff. I ended up taking a death there. I didn't really want to, but again, like, it doesn't set you back super far, which thankfully means you can just continue doing the run. Okay, so now we have to fight these doggos. They're pretty straightforward because we have blade dash now, so we can clear a huge amount of space in a very short amount of time. And now we get to fight the boss. And this is a lot of people's favorite boss because he's a very happy Sir Barrington gentleman. And we don't actually have to fight him because we're Kiri. So, good fight. And now we're going to be going into 3-1. So in World 3, this is the place where you would normally be introduced to Yuzu's water power, which is a shark suit, which is pretty cool. It lets you swim very quickly underwater, so it's effectively like, a frog suit from Mario Brothers game. But it also, if you acquire Key Speed, which is the P speed of this game, it lets you run on water. Oh yeah. If you're here for the whole run, Blades, get excited because we don't fight any of the bosses the right way. We fight none of them properly, except the Fire Guardian, I suppose. That's about the only one that I can think of that we would do. But yeah, you get a slight amount of invincibility when you do Blade Dash. So you can kind of cheat through a lot of things with it. And so here is just more of that underwater movement. I am very surprised that I got hugged by that man, but we made it. Okay. And the something that I started saying earlier, but I will reiterate now, is we are going to ignore all of the cat merchants. The merchants themselves in vanilla have games that they want to play with you. They can play the Monty Hall game with you. They can play a memory cards game. They can play or they can play a spin the wheel game. All of them take a significant amount of time, and none of them are really time friendly. So we just don't do them. We don't really need any of the items that they would give us otherwise anyway, so we can kind of get away with not messing with that too much. All right, so we're going into 3-3. This is another level where we're going to liberally use slides and water dashes, or the side dashes. They both give us a lot of horizontal momentum, and because Kiri is the way that she is, as long as you hit an enemy, it refreshes the usage of the blade dash. So what we want to do for a lot of this open water is try to blade dash in a way that allows us to just continuously hit enemies, because I don't think there's anything that she doesn't just kill. That was an unfortunate death there, but and then we do that in tandem with the slides on the bottom, because that lets us just kind of traverse very, very, very cleanly. So in that section there, we slid twice. We're currently being chased by a ghost. I know it doesn't seem like it, but he's extremely slow. And we just don't have to worry about it too much. So that's 3-3. Next, we're going to do 3-4, and 3-4 is a ghost house. Now, this one, last time we did it, I was working on getting extremely good at a certain kind of movement, and Annie, a friend of the stream and channel, asked me a very simple question, which was, couldn't you just not do that? And you know what? They're right. We're going to get these flippers because it makes swimming easier, but we're also just definitely not going to do any of the things that I have practiced up until this point, because we can wall jump. Cool. Good stage. All right. And now this is a level that causes a lot of first-time players a little bit of grief, which is this big vertical swimming section. We basically always follow the left-hand side because there's a lot of lamps, and the lamps themselves, de-aggro the ghosts on you. So until you get down here and get this lamp, you kind of want to stick to those as much as possible. But we have a pretty solid route for just getting all the way down and getting back up. And once you have oh, that's really bad. Okay. Do we have another flipper? No. Okay. Can you grab that, please? Okay. Can you stop though? Oh no, this is no bueno. All right. Kiri, no. All right, we're losing a lot of time on this one. Oh, it's so hard to grab when it's on those. Why did you kick it? Okay. This is extremely problematic for us right now. Generally, you wouldn't get hit there, and you would just swim back up to the top. We lost control of the. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. We were very far ahead, and we probably just lost another like 15-20 seconds there, which is a bummer. The fish confidence. Yeah, I was pretty sure that fish wasn't going to get me there, but it did. Anyway, that stage is a pain. You have to go all the way down to the bottom and then swim all the way back up to the top. Are you a jumper? No. You're a jumper in the middle, but not here. Yeah. So yeah, that stage, we basically want to get flippers and keep them. Sometimes, depending on the overworld, like the Hammer Brothers RNG, we'll run into the dogs in World 3 first. And assuming that happens, we have access to a second pair of flippers, so we can kind of save that. This is our second Aaron fight. This is where she teaches us the uppercut, which is the second part of the like powerhouse movement abilities that we will get in this game. Again, pretty straightforward. She doesn't really mix anything together yet, so we can kind of just get away with that. Now we have this, so now we have the ability to go extremely quickly in multiple directions, and it's got a hitbox that extends over the really far above our head, so we can hit stuff through blocks. Okay, we're going to use these flippers here. Because we would normally have them if we hadn't taken the hit. Something we learned relatively recently is that if you use an ability in the water, it does kind of... Oh, that's unfortunate. It does kind of freeze you up a little bit, and you kind of sink like that. So it gets kind of scary when you are trying to get through an area very quickly and there's a fish in your way or something, because if you don't have any kind of vertical momentum or anything like that, you can just fall into stuff beneath you, which ends up being real bad. But all things considered, that was a pretty good 3-5. We're gonna have to look at 3-4 again, I think, after this, but we're doing okay for right now. We're skipping that cat. And now we're going to 3-6. So this is just a cave with some water in it for the first screen. Nothing too exciting here. We do have all of our super important movement options at this point, though. So, ooh, that's a bummer. We're going to just be, getting through this cave as well as we can. And once we get through to the other side, we're going to be, going through some water movement. And when we get through to this next area, there is this screen you can climb extremely quickly, because now that we have the uppercut, we fell. Now that we have the uppercut and we have the refresh ability, we're able to ascend extremely fast. And we don't really have to worry about too much as far as enemy stuff goes. I didn't mean to jump off there, but it worked out because those yokai can be really problematic since we need to go through that extremely small gap on our cloud. That the deaths on the piranha plant well lady there are intentional. The ones before that were not. So yeah, 3-6, pretty straightforward. You just kind of got to go up at the end. And now we're going to 3-7. And 3-7 is one where we're going to be using an onigiri to damage boost so that we can grab flippers right away. Ooh, that's... I kicked up one too many times. We're going to get our flippies here. And the flippies, we're going to keep these until we get through this screen. Once we get through this screen, there is a door that we need to go through, and it goes into another vertical section. Okay, well, that's fine. And in here, we're just not going to play the video game. This is the room. I tried this during a run before, and we realized that worked, and you basically always have a Power Fox at that point, so it's like, why not? All right, and now we're going to go fight the boss. This is Commander Core, and he doesn't actually matter when you're Kiri because, again, we have Blade Dash. So yeah, that's World 3 done. Oh yeah, we lost 40 seconds. That's truly unfortunate. Okay, so we're going to World 4. World 4 is mostly just a hold right and jump level. There's a little bit towards the end that we can skip with a dash jump, or a slope jump rather. Actually, we may have, yeah, we might have missed it already. Oh no, it might be in here. Yeah, this one. So we can just skip all of those, and then that's the level. It's a pretty solid 4-1. We're basically going to just be trying to make back some of that 40 seconds. I think we're still ahead by a little bit. It's definitely not as ahead as we could be, but doing pretty good. This is my favorite stage in the game. There's a lot of really cool movement in here. Again, not just because it's an ice level, but The idea here is that we basically want to use our refreshes to go as high as we can vertically, and we want to refresh them and use wall jumps pretty liberally. So we can just go. We don't really have to play the level too much, which is pretty cool. The movement in there I do want to clean up because I think there's probably a way to make it extremely consistent. But for right now, just kind of getting any kind of vertical and going from there is really good. All right, now we're going into 4-3. This is an auto scroller. You press these buttons and the floor and ceiling move up and down, and our goal is to not get squished and to press them all and get to the end. So we are basically just going to be kind of following this around. In my casual playthrough, I got stomped by something and I fell through through the floor. Or I got like clipped down into the floor. It was extremely strange. I'm sure there's a clip of it somewhere. But I have not yet been able to figure out if that is actually a good thing or not. So we just do the stage normally for now. But if we can figure out a way to weaponize the clip, then we will use it. Okay, so now we're going into 4-4. This is the ghost house for this level, and the gimmick is that all of the platforms are visible, but not for me. So what we want to do here is try to minimize movement as much as we can while trying to go up. The general game plan that I tend to go with is if there's a platform that I can see, I try to aim for it, and if there's a bunch that I can't see, which, as I'm sure it is incredibly apparent at this point, there are a lot of them. We kind of just don't need to worry about a ton of stuff, so all right, that was a pretty clean room. We'll take that. And this is the mini boss for this stage. There's ice now. Other than that, it's the same stuff that we've already seen. I believe this one jumps first. Yeah. And so then it'll do a stab, and then we'll go back to jumping. So this is another one that's relatively straightforward. You know, it's a sub boss. I almost hurt myself there. I'm glad I didn't. Okay, so that's 4-4 done. Now we need to fight Erin again. This one is where she starts to get a little finicky. She has the dive kick now, which is what we were mentioning earlier. So she will do the uppercut and then fall down on us with the dive kick. So what we want to do is try to bait the AI into doing it in a certain direction. But if we are Dr. Doom players, yeah, if we can position ourselves well, we can kind of make that fight a lot less of a problem than it is. But this is the first real, like, Erin becomes a problem there. Okay, now we're going to 4-5. On this stage, we are going to grab the flippers in that little area up there. And then we're basically just going to be going through the rest of the stage as normal with them. Flippers are extremely good, or snorkel or whatever, the frog suit power that Kiri has. We're going to basically just be taking this as far as we can in this stage. We do want to go a little bit quickly. And in this case, we are going to damage boost here. And we're going to prep ourselves for the next damage boost also. Because there's a lot of up and down in this level, but it's also up and down, and you have to go left and right. And that is slow, or it at least sounds slow to me. So I am not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to eat a tasty snack and run through some electric eels and call it a day. Okay, we got bonked by the yokai there. That's all right, though. Oh, I didn't expect that to be swimmable water. I thought I was just gonna die. But we take that. Okay, that was a pretty solid 4-5. No complaints, no complaints. Now we're going to 4-6, and this is the race. We're gonna race a ghost. And so what better way to race a ghost than by being invisible? So the ninja suit that we have on, or the shinobi suit, or however you like to call it, if you hold down, the special power of this suit is that it makes you invisible and it removes any kind of lock-on that you may have normally. Because this ghost is supposed to chase you, it doesn't always work on them, but or it doesn't work on them at all as far as that goes. But what it does do is it gives us a little extra time to like build a distance, right? So now that we're all the way over here, we don't even have to worry about this fella catching up to us. And realistically, if we wanted to, we can try to dodge. We can take the hit. It doesn't really matter. Like the level's over now, and we don't have to worry about dying. There's not a ton of ways to speed this up because it is an auto scroller. Nice, thanks, GG's. But yeah, that's 4-6. Pretty straightforward. Okay. 4-7 is a pretty cool level. You can do this. Oh, never mind. We're fighting dogs first. Okay, dogs fought. 4-7 is pretty cool. This is a level that you can get an achievement on by doing the entire level without a power-up, which is how I've been doing it in runs up until this point. But today we're going to be trying it with the power-up just to see if this ends up being faster for us. Because then we don't have to, okay, well, we died, so that's already not going to be the best. I need to actually like time out whether it is faster to do this kind of thing or just use the power to get through. Obviously, if we're going to be taking deaths, it kind of doesn't matter which one we choose because it's always going to be slower than not dying. But all things considered, pretty solid 4-7. And now we're going to fight the Snow Bunny. The Snow Bunny is the boss of this stage. She's extremely straightforward. Casually, you would need to wait for these to be done doing things so that they would spawn platforms and you would follow the platforms to hit her. But that's slow, so we don't do that. And we instead just win the fight. Easy peasy. Okay, and then that is World 4 done. So now we're going to World 5. This is the stage where the wing power gets introduced. And this is going to be a lot of... there are a lot of death boosts in this stage currently because there's a lot of verticality. You guessed it. So what we want to do is we want to take deaths where we can to just kind of minimize the amount of time. Oh, the Tengu? Yeah, they suck. They're great enemies. Like charging chucks that chase you into eternity is a great idea. But man, I don't like it when they chase me. But yeah, so we're basically going through the stage as well as we can, knowing that we don't really have a flight power. Oh, we missed the... Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. We don't have a flight power up like Yuzu does, but we do have the jumps. Oh, okay. We made it pretty okay. That reset into that death is probably all we can get from that. This stage has a pretty substantial slide dash or slope jump. There we go. We figured it out. We just said every word and eventually got to the name of the tech. It's got a pretty substantial skip, but it's very precise. So that's something that we also need to work on. 5-2 is another level that has a choreographed start, so you can always hit these cycles every time. Dying there is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. Okay. And now we're basically just going to be either using resets or using Cloud to reach the end. I never touched the ground, so I didn't have any of my powers back. That's on me. I also didn't eliminate any enemies, which would have given me my powers back. Oh. Okay. All right, well. This is going to be... This level is a little rough so far, but it's okay. 5-2 done. In the books. Okay, so 5-3 is the next important level. This level is an auto-scroller that you normally are supposed to be jumping on this platform and then navigating obstacles while the platform is moving in order to stay on the platform and keep going. Which of course means we're going to take this to a logical point and then jump into a pit so that we can fly on a cloud to clear the level. So we're basically going to take this to the top of this next this next area here. Oh, come on, Kiri. All right, well, okay. We missed that, which is a little unfortunate. Normally we would want to take this a little bit higher, but now that we're here, we can just loop these forever, basically. We're currently as high on the screen as you can go. Ooh, that's unfortunate. We just barely missed that guy. But since we jumped off a very high platform, we got boosted really high up. And that means that we can just keep doing this to the end of the level. So again, like, this is one of those things that I still need to actually do ILs and see if this strategy is faster than doing it the other way. Oh, that's a really unfortunate. But it's okay. This second screen is really cool because since we refresh all of our abilities by killing enemies, all of these flying Tanuki, which would otherwise be extremely annoying, just let us do the entire stage without the platform that we're supposed to be following. Nice. Okay, this death is intentional, and being able to hit that shuriken means that we can just kind of go. It's very, very, very good for us, and that's the level. Really good 5-3. You love to see it. Okay, 5-4 is the ghost house that has since been nerfed. The OG difficult stage. With Kiri, it's a lot less difficult. It also was less difficult back then with this character as well. Just because of the nature of her movement. It's so much more than anything Yuzu could ever hope to achieve. And what that means for us is that we can kind of take things a little looser than we otherwise would. Dying still is obviously not ideal in any situation, because it is still, you know, you're waiting for, even though it gives you the cloud and the cloud is extremely good, it's still not faster than just doing the level normally. This stage is very vertical, so again, we're going to be borrowing a cloud from the ghost and then just kind of going. Oh. Okay, we barely made that. That was really, really close. We nailed that though. And now we just have another standard boss fight, except now the floor sometimes goes away. But we have Blade Dash, which means that even if we dash across these gaps, it keeps us moving horizontally, so we don't actually care if the floor is there or not. As long as we have enough time to run to warm it up, we're fine. So that's 5-4 done, nice and easy. And now we're gonna fight Aaron, and Aaron here gives us Spirit Slash. And Spirit Slash is a really cool ability that has extremely niche uses. When you have key speed, you are able to charge it up to kind of make an 8-way dash. We are going to try to use it in the level immediately after this, but I haven't successfully done it yet, so we'll see how that goes. But basically, it lets you aim yourself in any direction, and it launches you extremely far. It's very, very good as long as you can find places to place it. Oh yeah, we died. Okay. So normally what we would do is we would hop through this little cave here and then still have access to the speed like this and do something along these lines. It is a power that can be refreshed if you are flying or if you hit enemies while you're in the air. I haven't found a use for that specifically yet, but it does let you more or less just avoid entire very, very long areas of the game, which is helpful. Okay, 5-6 is not happening yet because we need to deal with some doggos. These have been the cleanest dogfights that I've had in an extremely long time, so I'm happy about that. Okay, now we're doing 5-6. This is a big water stage. There's not a ton to talk about here, except that we're not going to be doing a lot of the water things. We basically want at all times to be avoiding the water because it's slower than otherwise moving, except when we are capable. Water is slow. Unless we need to go down, because if we need to go down, we can use the dive kick and then water becomes faster. Like so. So we're basically going to be trying to avoid a lot of this if possible. And after doing so, we need to do a couple more little platforming things over here. And the end of the level is right there. So nice, really good 5-6. And then 5-7 is a tower level. And tower levels mean we want to charge up key speed as much as possible to try to skip things. This one doesn't have as many back and forths as the tower in World 6. In World 6, there's a lot more horizontal running because you're being chased by lava. But in this particular stage, you can kind of just get by on fundamentals. So that's the Spirit Slash that we just learned from Aaron, and it kind of puts us, a little bit further up. That yokai really had it out for me there, and there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it, unfortunately. But it's all good. We just keep climbing. Excellent 5-7. You love to see that. Okay, and now we get to do one of my favorite things in the game, which is called the bow skip. I didn't name it that. Somebody else named it that. But we don't have to fight this boss either. Good fight. Okay. And that's World 5. Okay, we're a little behind on World 5. So we're going to World 6 now. The way that we think that quick kill works currently is that you hit him and he's in hit stun for long enough while off the stage that he falls into the death plane and the death plane kills him. I don't know if we've confirmed that that's the case or not yet, but that is what we think happens currently. So 6-1 is the first level of World 6, obviously. It's also the first time that we see the Bakeneko, the Lakitu likes of this game. And we have an ability that allows us to kill things above us, which means we can just take the clouds from them every single time. Yeah. The thing about playing Kiri instead of playing Yuzu is that Kiri does not have rules to follow. Kiri gets to do whatever she wants basically at all times, and it's very, very fun. Big recommend. She is the Mario who kills, as I've been told before. So this is just a poison swamp level. I have not yet been able to find out if you can go fast enough to skip this last cycle, because this wall exists, and this wall and I do not get along because you have to go underneath it. But 6-2, other than that, is really, really straightforward. 6-3 is another level where we're supposed to tag a platform and wait for it. But as you've probably heard many, many times, we're Kiri, so Lamau. We also do have new tech for this level right away in the beginning here. Because, you know, we're Kiri Lamau. So this part, unfortunately, oh, that's really rude. This part, unfortunately, we can't really cheese our way through. We have to do this a little more normally, because you can't fly over that, which is a real bummer. But here's the first of those platforms that we're supposed to wait for. Cool. We did a very good job waiting for the platform. And now we're going to wait for some more platforms. Oh, I didn't want that. I got that again before earlier too. That's okay though. Okay, cool. So 6-3 is done. A really, really good 6-3. Then 6-4 is the ghost house of this stage. It's lava. There's lava here. We have to fight dogs first. Okay, these dogs I don't like fighting because the lava will just instant kill you. So instead I just use a power up here. You can't really use it anywhere else. I may as well just, just pop it there for safety. And then, yeah, we're going to do the lava ghost house. There's not too much to say about this level. It's pretty straightforward. You run, you dodge the lava. There's really not much more to it than that. We can kind of just hold right. If you hit the entire first cycle, you can skip waiting for that box, which is very nice. Because if you were to respawn from that checkpoint, that box slides left first. And as you might imagine, that means that you have to wait there for the box to slide all the way out. So that was a really, really clean 6-4. Not going to complain about that at all. And this is a normal boss fight, except there's a Bakaneko, and I missed killing it the first time, but we got it that time. Okay. That worked out. I was really hoping they would jump sooner rather than later. Cool, so that's 6-4 done. Now we have to fight Aaron again, and this Aaron has all of the abilities. So we just need to try to take a good fight against this Aaron. We get a cheeky first hit there, and then the rest of it is kind of just like, she will use moves depending on what we're using. So our goal is to try to catch her either before she does it or otherwise right after. So only one death there is pretty good. This one is the hardest one to like try to manipulate because she can do so many things. All right, now we're doing 6-5. This is one of the ones that we were practicing earlier, and it has an extremely good slope jump skip. So we're gonna try for it here. We did not get it. So we're just gonna have to do this normally. I was holding right there and I needed to not be. So we're going to be doing this initial part as intended. Well, as intended according to Kiri. And we are still going to be grabbing the Bakaneko after the checkpoint and then flying to the end. So not gonna worry too much about the rest of that. We have 2 yokai here, and then the Bakaneko shows up. Oh, how did my little toesies. Or my heels, I guess. Now come over here. All right, cool. Okay, that's the level. There's literally nothing else to do. I think depending on where you grab the Bakaneko, you might have to jump off a bug at the end. But again, Kiri. So you just have blade dash. Oh, we landed right on it. Nice. Grade 6-5. No complaints. No complaints. Now we have 6-6. 6-6 is the tower climb. So this is the one where there is lava chasing us up it. And our goal here is going to be to do these frequently. Oh, that's really a bummer. Well, at least we died directly below where we need to go, so we can go up this way. Yeah, we basically just want to use wall jumps to maintain momentum as much as possible. And as long as we're maintaining momentum, that means we can do spirit slashes and kind of angle ourselves where we need to go. So this is a much shorter tower than in World 5, but still pretty happy with that. Now we have 6-7. 6-7 is the well level, and this one gave us a lot of trouble last time, but there's a secret exit in here that we found a more or less consistent way to get to, so we're going to do that. We failed the initial drop here, which is kind of a bummer. I actually don't even know if that still works in current version of game. It used to though. And the idea is if we're Kiri here, we can move a lot more confidently on these, and we're not limited to only jumping where there are platforms. So we kind of want that. We don't want to get grabbed here if we can avoid it, because obviously dying in lava is not really high on our priority list. And I believe it's over here. Yeah, so we're gonna go in. We technically would have wanted to die here, so we lost a little bit of time, but you can leave through this pipe and it's just the end of the level and you don't have to do the rest of it, so yippee. You can get a fish there with Yuzu that handles that for you. Okay, so now we're going to fight the Fire Guardian. This is less of a fight and more of an obstacle course. Oops, I went too fast, Lamau. That's his funny trick. He doesn't actually want to fight you there, so instead you just need to run right on past. Oh, that Tanuki always... Oh, okay. Well, we're still going to be saving time here, a significant bit of time, but that could have been a lot cleaner. Okay, and now we have the final mushroom fight. And the mushroom fight is pretty straightforward. We start with Yuzu, and we just need to get 3 hits on that orb. The mushroom is going to throw blocks at us. That was unfortunate. And then drop a big one from the ceiling. And with Yuzu, you need to jump on the big block in order to hit, to jump up there to hit that. With Kiri, there's a much faster way. And so we will be doing that when we get to play Kiri. We have 1 more hit, but technically 2 more cycles of this to go. We have to hit him here and then do this again because the next one starts a cutscene, and that's how we switch over to Kiri. So this has been a really good fight so far. We took a hit in the beginning, but it's fine. Okay, we got hit there. This starts a cutscene that we can skip. And now we're going to do the funny thing. Oh, we got hit. That's all right, though. So remember how I said that sometimes you're a little bit invincible when you use Kiri's abilities? You just don't have to do this properly, which is pretty cool. So that'll be the end of the fight. And then we have an unskippable cutscene, and then we get to jump on him head with Yuzu. So we're just going to be mashing a lot here. And then we're going to jump, and it looks like we're going to PB by 30 seconds, a little more. So hell yeah. Time. Great. 58:02, and that was with 40 seconds lost in world well, what was that, world 3? Oh man.